on, everybody? Welcome back to the Grit Strength Podcast, brought to you by Grit Strength and Competitive Greatness. I'm your host, Taylor Ware. Thanks again for tuning in on Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're ready to get back after it on Monday. Before we get going, I want to talk about this holiday shred membership that we have going on through Grit Strength. We'll put the link here in the video and on the podcast episode, but if you visit grit-strength.com/holiday-shred, we've got a deal going on right now for $6.99. You can follow all the things that I'm doing to stay in shape during the holiday season. My daily workout routines, all the video demonstrations for those. You'll have access to our online platform, and you'll even get nutrition guidelines. I follow more guidelines than meal plans, so I try to hit certain numbers on my carbs, my fats, my protein, and from there, I give myself a little bit of leeway on certain days so I can still enjoy what I'm eating, but still, again, stay in good shape during the holiday season when others maybe let themselves get away a little bit. So feel free to check that out. Let us know if you have any questions. The topic I want to discuss today is something that actually, ironically enough, this jacket I was wearing the other day, and I didn't even realize, but on the inside, the very lower part at the bottom of it, if you flip it over, there's a quote on the inside. It's a Lululemon jacket. I know guys don't usually wear Lululemon, but it's actually one of my favorite jackets. It's super, super comfortable. This is not an ad at all whatsoever, but I didn't know. I've worn it forever. When I flipped it over, I saw that the quote said, "You can't score without goals." And I liked the quote. I thought about it. It's got potentially multiple meanings to it, but that started to get me really thinking about what we could talk about today during the episode. And the thing I really want to focus on is goals versus dreams, because I think there's a distinct difference between the two. I think people do a little bit of both and maybe don't quite understand the differences between the two. And so I wanted to dive into that and kind of make sure everybody knew at least what my take on it was, and hopefully you all can take away some different things that you can use in your life and in the goals, hopefully, that you have for yourself. So, to me, the biggest difference between a dream and a goal is this. A dream you kind of imagine, or you think of, and you think about a lot, but maybe you're not necessarily acting on. It's just something that's in your mind, something that you think about a lot. A goal, to me, is something that you've started to act on. You've put pen to paper, you've written it down, and you're taking steps towards it. So again, maybe a dream is something that's not quite physical yet. It becomes a goal when you start taking action. That's, I think, my biggest thing with that. You start to take action towards goals rather than dreams that you just think about. And as I was, again, preparing for this episode, I was looking through some different things, trying to get different people's take on goals versus dreams. And I came across a really, really good article. It's called The Time Management Ninja. If anybody wants to go check it out, it's really, really good information. I've never read into it before, but as I came across this, I read a couple of the other blog posts and thought it was really good information. But the one in particular that I want to focus on today and kind of structure this conversation around is he talked about 10 differences between goals and dreams that are important. I kind of focused on 8. Not that the other 2 were bad, but I just thought these 8 were a little bit more powerful, and one of them in particular struck me even more than the rest of the 8. So I'll just kind of go through the list, talk about each one, give you my take on what I think about it, and hopefully, again, it's something that you can use in your daily life. So the first one is goals are something you're acting on, dreams are something you're just thinking about. And that's what I kind of talked about originally, is a goal is something that you're physically taking action towards. So whatever your goals may be, you maybe have written them down, you are taking actionable steps, you're putting items together that are actionable steps to get you closer to those goals. A dream, again, is something that's just in your mind that you think about. That's really mainly the only difference to me is that you have to take action towards goals. A goal is something that you're taking action towards. So that's number 1. Number 2, goals have deadlines. Dreams are just dreams. So goals, you usually set a deadline. If I want to, a dream of mine would be to build a gym. I would love to build a gym someday where I can train athletes on the court. They can go over and get their performance training in, their recovery, injury prevention, have all the bells and whistles in that gym so that we can train athletes all in one place. So for me, maybe that's 5 or 10 years down the road, I would like to build a gym. Maybe in the short term, in the next year or 2, I'd like to have some space that maybe I don't own, but I am able to still train athletes out of. So those are goals of mine. A goal would be to build a gym someday. I know that that's going to hopefully happen in 10 to 20 years, but I would put a date on that. I would again put actionable steps together to try to get to that point so that I know what that goal looks like, how close I'm getting to it, and how well I'm doing with those actionable items and steps. So that's number 2. Number 3, I'm going to skip and come back to because I think that's a really important one. Number 4, goals produce results, dreams don't. So again, when you're taking these actionable steps, you are producing results as you go. You know, if you want to play basketball in college, for those of you that want to get a scholarship to play basketball in college, what are the actionable steps? You need to maybe improve your ball handling. You need to be, scoring 10 points a game, or you need to shoot a certain percentage from the field. All of those are goals. I think that's the way to start, is to start with maybe not the point totals, but your percentage, your shooting percentage. How can I shoot over 40% from the three-point line? How can I shoot 60% from the field? How can I shoot 80% from the free throw line? Some other ones, how can I get, 8, 9, 10 rebounds a game? All of those are measurable results that it takes action to lead up to it. I've got to change my mindset during the game. I've got to change my mindset every day at practice. I have to structure and have actionable goals to get there. One of those might be, if you're talking about shooting percentages, if I want to shoot 40% from the three-point line in the game, I would like to make 80% of my open shots with nobody guarding me, just a rebounder. And then maybe in practice, you start to track, in live settings, I would like to shoot 40% in those live practice settings so that translates to the game. Those are 2 results that I can get before I even get to the game. So goals have results, dreams don't. That's the next one. Number 5 is dreams can inspire you, goals can change your life. So here's how I look at that one. Dreams can inspire you. You can be inspired by your dreams. You can be inspired by the dreams of others. You can be inspired by these motivational talks of people talking about their hopes and dreams and the things that they've accomplished and those sorts of things. Goals can truly change your life, because when you take that dream to a goal, and again, you start to make actionable steps, you start to take action towards that goal, you're going to improve. We talk about this self-development, self-improvement concept. If I'm working towards a goal every single day, and I'm doing the things I need to do, I'm hitting my marks every single day, I'm going to be better and better and better as a person. I'm going to continue to change my life. If I accomplish these big goals, then I can really change the overall course of my life and those around me. I might be more financially sustainable. I have more financial success because I'm hitting my goals. If I'm just dreaming about that, nothing happens. The goals is what can change your life. Having those goals, and you can look at it this way too. Maybe I have a goal for this month and this quarter and then this year. For each individual day, I need to have goals that I have to hit that day, again, to work towards the other ones, towards the long-term ones. My short-term goals have to work towards my long-term goals. If I'm hitting my short-term goals every single day, I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be a better employee. I'm going to be a better business owner, a better coach, a better trainer, a better brother, a better father someday. All of you are in different situations, but having those goals every day and hitting those goals every day can start to change your life in a very, very positive way. So that's another difference. Goals can change your life. Dreams can inspire you, but goals are going to ultimately change your life if you're taking steps towards those. Next one, goals must have focus. Dreams don't necessarily have to. So I think about this as like a daydreaming concept. If I'm daydreaming, I don't necessarily have a ton of focus. My mind's kind of wandering to different places. Goals take a lot of focus. If I'm going to hit my short-term marks today on what I need to do, I have to have a ton of focus. I have to be able to block out the other things that don't really matter during my day or are going to take me away from my goals and focus and lock in. That can also go for the athlete example would be, all the things that can distract you, whether it be, people who aren't in athletics that want to go do dumb stuff against the rules at school or that are going to put you in danger of losing, your spot on a team or put you in danger of losing your scholarship. You're always going to be surrounded with people who aren't in the same spot as you, who don't have as much maybe to lose as you. They're going to try to influence you to do some certain things and maybe lose focus on what your goals are. You have to be laser focused on your goals, especially for those really hard to reach ones. That laser focus, again, can go back to how goals can change your life. If you're laser focused on what you want and what you want to do, then you're going to get closer and closer to those goals. A dream, you can just daydream about it. So that's another point there. Goals must have focus. Dreams don't necessarily have to. These last three, in my opinion, are the most important points. All of these are really important, but these last three are extremely powerful. The next one is goals require hard work. Dreams just require your imagination. So again, I've already said that, but you imagine things in your dreams. You have to have a creative mind and you have to have an imagination to have dreams, and that's really important. But that dream doesn't require any hard work. I can dream all day long about this potential gym I might have at some point. But the hard work leading up to it, if I don't do that piece, I'm never going to have it. Especially being a business owner, that's really important. That laser focus and the hard work while you're laser focused. Nobody's telling you what to do. You don't have anybody here to tell you, hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to get this done. You got to be laser focused and you have to work hard on your own. It goes to the same thing with athletes and really anybody, whatever you're trying to accomplish in life. But let's use the athlete example. If I want to play in college, which I did when I was in high school, or anybody out there who wants to play in college or even make your varsity basketball team or your middle school team, you have to work really hard and you're going to have to do it a lot of times on your own. You're not always going to have people there pushing you and forcing you to do certain things and telling you that you need to do this or that. You have to be able to do that on your own. And those goals require hard work. I see this all the time. Talented athletes who don't understand the work ethic piece, and even trainers who don't understand how to teach them that. They think that just doing drills at half speed because it's a cool looking drill, or doing practice at 75% because they don't have to go as hard as they can to maybe beat the people that they're playing against in practice, they don't understand how hard that's going to be later. They don't understand the hard work that it takes to get to that next level. So the goals, you can't just use your imagination to dream about, oh, it'd be awesome to go play for Duke, who's number one in the country, or Indiana, where I played. You can't just say those things and have an imagination and dream about it. You have to put in the hard work to get there, and it is really hard work. Any goal that means anything is going to be extremely hard to achieve. It's going to take a lot of hard work. So I think that's an extremely important point. Goals require hard work. Dreams just require your imagination, and we have to think about it that way. 2 more points. Dreams stretch your imagination. Goals stretch you. And I really like this one because I think it's got a bunch of different meanings that, you could look at it. Dreams can lead to bigger dreams. If you dream about something and you continue to build on that, those dreams can get bigger and bigger. So those can stretch the limits of your imagination. Goals are going to stretch you as an individual, like as far as what you're capable of, so your skills, your mindset, your knowledge, it's going to stretch you in a positive way. And that's, again, one way to look at it is you're going to stretch your capabilities. You're going to stretch your skill set. Another way to look at it is it's going to stretch you, from a mentality standpoint. It's going to stretch you as far as it's going to push you beyond your comfort zone. Those goals, if you want to achieve them, you're going to deal with some adversity. You're going to deal with situations you're not comfortable with. It's going to stretch you past that comfort zone. Are you ready for that? Most people say that they are until that adversity hits. Then when it does, they wilt. Are you ready to be stretched beyond your comfort zone? Maybe you're not, but you have to learn how to be better at it as time goes on. Maybe you don't deal with adversity the right way the first, second, and third time. But how can you improve on that? I saw a video this week of Kobe Bryant talking about how he approached everything in a way that he could improve. So he didn't look at different situations as failures. Like a loss to him was not a failure. A loss was just a way to look at how he could improve and how his team could improve. So when you get stretched beyond that comfort zone, or when you get stretched beyond maybe what your current skill set is, how can you adjust? How can you improve? How can you get better at what you need to do it better the next time? So again, you can look at it both ways. It's going to stretch you quite literally to become a better person, to become just be better at whatever you're doing, increasing your skills, increasing your knowledge, all those sorts of things. It's also going to stretch your comfort zone. And quite frankly, I think both go hand in hand. When you're forced to stretch outside your comfort zone, you have to adapt and build your skills. So I think that comes first. I think you get stretched outside your comfort zone first, and then your skills come from that. People don't like to read books. A lot of people don't like reading books. It's not something they enjoy. But that's a way to build your knowledge. Get outside your comfort zone. Do something you maybe don't necessarily like doing, and you can maybe develop a better appreciation for it. You can like it a little bit more as time goes on. But if you stretch outside your comfort zone, if you get a little bit uncomfortable, you're going to be forced to get better at what you need to get better at so that it becomes comfortable, and then you develop more skills the next time you have an uncomfortable situation, the next time you have adversity. You have to keep building on those sorts of things, and again, continue to stretch yourself outside your comfort zone to stretch those skills and improve. So again, you can look at that a couple different ways, but I really like that point. I think that's a great point. The last one is the one that I skipped, and again, I think is probably the most important point here. It relates back to all this different stuff that we've already talked about, but in and of itself, I think is the one that you've got to really think about, along with the hard work piece. But I think it kind of, again, goes hand in hand. The last point is dreams are free, goals have a cost. Dreams are free, goals have a cost. You can dream all you want. It doesn't cost anything to dream. It doesn't cost anything for me to sit here and think about, oh, what can my gym look like someday? Oh, what do I need to do to get there? Oh, this would be awesome. I wonder what I could do with this and that. That dream is free. I don't have to pay anything for that dream. The goal, quite literally, the gym itself is going to cost a lot of money. But every goal has a cost, whether it be literal or figurative or both. Most of the time, the cost is going to be your blood, sweat, and tears. It's going to be that hard work. It's going to be stretching yourself outside your comfort zone. It's got a cost to it. If it didn't, everybody would go out and do it. Everybody who wanted a gym would go out and build a gym. Everybody who wanted a college scholarship would go out and get a college scholarship. Everybody who wanted to make a varsity team, there'd be 100 kids from your high school on your varsity basketball team or on your varsity football team or baseball team. That's not how it works, guys. There's a limit. When a ton of people want the same goal as you, there is a cost to that. And whoever's willing to pay the most, again, literally and figuratively, is who's going to get that goal. Whoever's willing to put in the most work, whoever's willing to stretch the most outside of their comfort zone, whoever is willing to put in the most blood, sweat, and tears for that goal, that cost, whoever's willing to put more of that in is going to get it. Now, we've talked about some people are blessed with more talent than others. Some people are more outgoing. Some people are just better athletes. Some people are taller. Some people are shorter. Some people are naturally stronger than others. That cost, just like in life, different things that you go to the store to buy are going to cost different amounts of money. Different goals are going to have different costs to them. And especially when you're talking about business goals, goals in athletics, where there's a little bit of a talent factor to it. There are people who are more gifted than others. There are people who are blessed with more money than others based on who they're brought up by. You have to make up for that gap in cost with your work ethic, with your work level. That's a point that we will talk about in every daggone podcast episode because it's that important. Just because somebody's more talented than you does not mean that you can't get to where they want to go or that you can't surpass them. It just means it's probably going to be harder for you. Not probably, it is. And if you can have the self-awareness to know that you're not maybe quite as talented as others or not as talented as those you're competing with directly, you are already one step ahead of most people. Because now you can, every single day, outwork them. You can, every single day, stretch further outside your comfort zone than they will. If you can come to terms with that, if you can understand, listen, I may not be as good as him or her, I may not be as gifted as him or her, but I'll be damned if I don't outwork them. That mentality is exactly what we're talking about. That's the difference between those that are dreamers and those that are goal-oriented. If you're goal-oriented, you write it down, you think about it, but then you put it to action. You may think about it so you can get your plan in place, But that's all the thinking you're going to do. You adjust as you go, but you put your plan to action. You put yourself to work. And you understand that every day you've got to outwork anybody else who wants to get to the same point that you do. That's what I'll leave you with today. Dreams versus goals. Start being more goal-oriented than a dreamer. Don't just be a dreamer because it's easy to dream about it and it's cool to think about it. Be goal-oriented. Start taking strides towards your goals. Make your dreams a reality by making it a goal and then taking those actionable steps towards it. But more than anything else, understand how hard it's going to be. Understand the price that you're going to pay. Goals have a cost. You're going to pay a price to achieve your goals. What's your limit? How high of a price are you willing to pay? Because I guarantee you there's people out there who will pay a little bit of a higher price than you right now. How can you change that? How can you change the price that you're willing to pay? How can you change your mentality to get there? How can you adjust your tasks and goals to get to that long-term, lofty, big goal that you really want? Goals have a cost, guys. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes some toughness. What are you willing to pay for your goals? How hard are you willing to work for your goals? How far outside your comfort zone are you willing to stretch yourself? What price are you willing to pay to achieve your goals?